So the purpose of getting the tunnel is that the purpose of putting the cover on the tunnel in February is because I wanted to actually get sewing. And it's Friday afternoon. I've just finished work, so I've popped down here to do some sewing. And I'm going to sow today some broad beans, might put some peas in, and I'm going to try some lettuce and turnips. Not sure if the lettuce is a little bit early. We'll give it a go. But yeah, I'm just anxious to get growing in this tunnel and get using it really because it's February. Well, it's mid-February. It's actually Valentine's Day, and that's what I call love your garden, and that's when I start sowing. So let's get going. Normally, I grow quite a few broad beans, but I'm only going to grow 6 this year because I got quite inundated and I didn't really eat too many of them. But they are good with a bit of garlic and on some toast. So also these seeds that I've got here are probably a little bit out of date, and they have been in the shed, so it's a test whether they actually germinate. You shouldn't really keep the seeds so they're cold, but I forgot that they were in the shed. So we will see how they do. If they don't do very well, I'll literally just buy some more. I've got time that I can do that if I need to. Right, perfect. So that's broad beans exhibition, and they're quite, I don't know, quite good. So we shall see how they go. Gardener's favourite for over 100 years, apparently. I never tested them last year because I lost them to black fly. So this year I'm being really, really careful, and we shall see. It is an early crop, so they should be all right. We'll just have to see how they go. Like I say, if I need to, I can sow them again if I need to. They should be all right, I reckon. Right, that's the broad bean sown, which is good. So now I would like to sow some leeks, some onions, because I haven't sown some leeks yet. So normally February time I usually start my leeks, but I do them indoors. So I don't want to do them indoors this time. I want to actually grow in here, like I say. So I'm going to do some leeks. Again, it's just so March for outside, but because I'm under the cover, I think it should be all right, fingers crossed. So we will just see what happens. There we go. I'm really pleased with that. That is a job done. So we've got some broad beans here. Again, this pack is probably a little bit too big, but I'm not too bothered. We then come over to the peas. These are Nairobi snap peas. We've then got here the onions, which are at the back. We've then got the leeks here, and then I've sown some beetroot in here. I'm really pleased with that. I feel like I'm starting to love my garden. Exciting, isn't it, when you start growing and sowing? And yeah, really happy, really happy. I'll tell you something else I'm really happy with. So these tulips have started coming up, and well, I put in here. You may remember, I put in here about 50 tulips, and they've started coming up, and it's a multicolour from memory. Again, I haven't labelled them. But it's a multicolour and they're just starting to come up, so I can't wait to see what they look like. And like I mentioned earlier, the garlic is starting to come up as well, which looks really good. But I'm just really disappointed with the onions. So yeah, we shall see. So I wanted to thank everyone for their comments about the polytunnel. And in particular, I got some really handy comments about the staging. I didn't realise that the staging can, in windy conditions, puncture the polytunnel cover. Obviously, that's not something I want. So I'm going to get some of the hotspot tape and just put it around the cover. That's one of the jobs that I'm going to do, just to put on the edge of the staging so it doesn't do that, because I don't want it to I don't want it to do that. um, so that's one of the jobs. And someone suggested also about putting some of the rubber kind of like piping foam that you can get on the frame of the polytunnel, because it's a little bit flappy and a little bit loose. So again, really, really great comment, because that is something I'm going to do as well, because it is a little flappy. And someone mentioned that it would tighten um, the actual cover. So yeah, really great comments, really helpful. And I love it when you put comments like that, because as I say, this is my first polytunnel. I've not grown in one before. And I think it might be slightly different to a greenhouse. So keep the comments coming. And if you're sowing anything at the moment, pop it in the comments. Let me know what you're doing, because I might just copy you. So yes, I'm really happy with how the plot's looking at the moment. I had a bit of a tidy up with the plot. There's a few things growing, but yes, the plot itself is looking brilliant. And I really like it this time of day when you finish work and you come down. It's Saturday tomorrow, so I have pretty much most of the day here. But you come down and you just want to relax and look at that sunset. What what more can you want? So one thing I do need to do outside, and I haven't been able to because it's been quite cold, is to actually start mulching the beds. So that's my next job for tomorrow. So when I come down here tomorrow, my plan is to be outside a little bit. Now I've sown what I needed to indoors, so I can mulch the beds, get them ready for spring. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to go home because it's a little bit nippy, but I might have a cup of tea first.